Hello and welcome to the book review segment, a time where we celebrate fantastic works of authors and also creatives in the creative industry. Today is no different, as I have an amazing young lady that will be talking to us about exam success. Now, growing up, it's always a normal phenomenon to have all of these butterflies when we're about to go into examination. That doesn't mean you're ill-prepared or stuff, but I mean, that feeling just comes. But what happens at the end of the day is really what determines if you were actually that prepared or not. Success in your examinations for professionals and students, the book written by Grace Chukwuma, and she's here to take us through all of that, how well we can be successful in our examinations. I mean, thankfully, JAMB results just came out and some people are already gnashing their teeth. Did they do the needful? Maybe next time this might just help. Welcome. Good morning, Grace.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. And
interesting. And like when you see scholars, sitting down, they've gone through it all of the MBAs and everything, and they did it at one sitting. How many of us wrote JAMB at one sitting? Say the truth. Grace, did you?
I didn't.
You didn't. So maybe you're talking to us from experience. So tell us, is this book, are you speaking from experience? What happened to you?
Yes, I'm actually speaking from experience. Some years ago, I took professional exams in human resources. So it was a tough one, and we're quite a few of us who registered to take the exams. We attended classes, did everything together, did our assignments, did our test questions. At the end of the day, we actually wrote the exam in Ghana.
Wow.
So we can imagine, we spent so much, At the end of the exam, I was the only one who passed that exam. It's called Global Human Resources, GPHR.
So what did you do differently?
So that was, when I got back home, I now started thinking, what did I actually do differently that made me pass while others failed? So I started recounting the things I did. And I started writing them down, actually. I didn't plan to write this book. I just started writing them down. Before I knew it, I'd already written a couple of pages. I was like, okay, I think I should share this because I always have the desire to give back, to inspire. So I said, okay, this thing can actually inspire someone else. Okay, that was how I now put the book together, and then we have the book.
So were you an author before then, or this poured into?
I wasn't. My dad has written a lot of books. So I think I picked that flair from him. So
this is by mistake entering into the writing thing. And here she is, from just taking notes, and you have about how many pages? About 177. Man, this is no fluke. It is an abinibi, something within. All right, but now come to think of it, others might have not been that dumb, I mean, for want of a better word, but maybe because, like you said, you did something differently. And now, before we go into what you think they did wrong or how you went about it, there's this argument that exam is a true test of knowledge. Some people say it is not. What side of the divide do you belong?
I think it's not really a true test of knowledge because some people can actually go into, which I also pointed out in this book, some people can actually go into the exam hall, memorize everything, go into the exam hall, pour everything, and then if you ask them after the exam, they can't remember, and then they can't even apply it to life. So I pointed out in this book that examination is beyond passing. You pick the knowledge, so you apply it to your life. If you're a student, you're aspiring to go into your career, you also need to get those knowledge to apply it in your career life. So if you just go into the exam hall to memorize, at the end of the day, you forget, and then you're now looking lost when you're supposed to apply those knowledge. And
so for some of us that knew how to cram, once you forget a line, you're like, you're gone.
It's over.
But that's what the world wants. Just come up with a 2-1, the first class. They don't care what happens afterward, which is really bad. So let's delve into the book, Success in Your Examinations. I said for professionals and students.
And for students,
so talk to us about it.
Okay, the book actually, beyond exam, success is the principles here. You can actually apply them to your life. But basically, I focused on exam.
All right.
Why did I make it general for professional and for students? Because I remember when I was in my MBA, I also applied some of these principles also. So as a student, there are things that you need to do to pass exams. For me, I started with the first chapter. I started with to have a well-defined purpose. For me, purpose is everything in life. So for you to take an exam and pass, why are you taking that exam?
I'm going to school.
What is the purpose? Is it just to pass? For a professional, why are you taking the exam? For me, the reason why I took the exam was so that I can create a career path in human resources, because I actually wanted to go to human resources and I couldn't. So I had to write my exam for a purpose to help me into the human resources professional, which I did. So if you have a purpose for taking the exam, it will inspire you because you have a bigger picture. It will motivate you to want to read, to want to do a lot of things to pass that exam. So that was the first thing I picked when writing.
Okay.
Purpose.
All right, good. That's one. I'm going to pick others, but let's look at the literal terms now, especially for students. Now, you're talking about the professional, people when we're not having all of the purpose. But for young people, the ideal thing is, okay, let's just pass so we can get admission to school. JAM just came out. Some people have started, counting their losses, so to speak, and everything. Is it a case of a lack of preparation? Because you see some people going there to read, wanting to sweat it out and everything, and each time they go in there, they come out not successful.
Okay. I think it's not a case of lack of preparation. It might be a case of preparing wrongly. Okay, what are you preparing with? I remember back in secondary school, for literature, we had to go through past questions. We repeated them over and over again. And guess what? I think I had A in literature because I think I spent a lot of time reviewing questions. So for me, it's more than preparing. If you prepare, what are you preparing with? What materials do you have? Okay, like my experience during my exam in the human resources, we prepared. But what my colleagues, my friends used an outdated material. That was the difference. One thing I picked.
Okay.
I had the current material and I shared to them, but they were like doubting. Let's follow what
used to be.
Used to have. So they prepared with outdated materials, but I prepared with the current one. So by the time I got to the exam hall, it was like, this is current. Of course, they will renew. Professional bodies do renew a lot of things. So I was current. So I was able to scale through. So beyond preparing, what materials are they using? Are they using the required materials? Are they? Some people go to school. They don't care. Some lecturers have specific materials they want you to use, and if there are certain questions, they pick from those materials. So are you using the approved materials? So those are the things that we also need to look at when we look at these students preparing for JAM. What are they preparing with? They can prepare and then end up getting confused when they get to the exam hall. They are seeing totally different things, because that was what happened with my friends. When we got there, they were like, everything was really different from what we read. So there's no way you could have passed in that kind of situation.
Interesting. But sometimes, of course, following course outline too is key. But let's come back now. I mean, in your chapter, in your 9th chapter, so you spoke about being positive, a positive mindset concerning the outcome of your exam that can help you succeed. I mean, the first thing that came to my mind were those people that I claim it in Jesus' name, claiming. Does it work here in this kind of place? Are you trying to justify the place of spirituality in all of this?
Of course. Even if you read the book, you notice that I did not forget the place of God. You receive. But again, in terms of the mindset is everything. The mind. Whatever you want to do, it starts from within you. You start within you. You have a picture. So that's why I say in that chapter, I said, think positive, see positive, and speak positive. Because while I was preparing for that exam, I met a lot of people that complained that the exam is tough, is international standard, and all of that. But then I started seeing positive things about that exam. Because when you see positive things, what will it do? It will affect what you speak. And our words are powerful, really. I've had so many experiences where my words really created what I wanted. And the words you speak, also your thoughts will affect your speech. First of all, it starts with your imagination. You see yourself, I have made it. This is me. Positive imagination. And then you apply it to your words. Because, like I will always use the Bible, as a man thinks, so is he. And then guide your heart with all diligence, for out of it flows the issue of life. So your heart has a lot of things to do with your outcome. So first of all, imagine that you are successful. Speak it. Keep saying it.
The same Bible says faith without good work is dead.
Yes. But that was the last, that's the last page, meaning that there are actions you would have taken first
before the affirmation.
You get to that. Affirmation is like
a
talking,
jar,
like
people just wake up and like
icing on the cake.
And you're tapping into someone's car, knowing that person took years to do. Happy tapping.
No, that won't work.
All right. Let's come to. Are there spaces for killing the butterflies? Because fidgeting and also having all of these butterflies during the examination too can also be a setback. Are there chapters there that you had to deal with that? It's a natural phenomenon, but how do we suppress it?
I think what really causes, in the first introduction, I said exam fever. Where back then when we were growing up, there's this thing during the exam, a lot of people fall sick, and then it shows in the results. So, exam, how do you stop that butterfly? It's your preparation. When you're prepared, if you follow all the steps in this book, it will prepare you. And when you're prepared, there will really be no need for the fidgeting, and the butterflies. I picked a story of someone who was prepared for interview. He had fears already. And when you have that fear, it will reflect. You will mess up things because, of course, you're not prepared. So how do you stop that fidgeting? Is by preparing ahead of time, reading what you should read.
All right, this is your very first book.
Yes.
Talk to us about, publishing. And after writing all of that down, thanks to the fact that you had that was into it, how easy was it to just take? One thing is to have script and materials lying fallow. Other thing is to put it up to becoming a book. Are there some sort of challenges putting this together?
For me, putting it together was because I work. I think it was the time. Publishing it was easy. It wasn't because I had someone directing me some sort of. So it was kind of easy for me. It's all you need to do once you put it all together, and then it's being reviewed by a professional. It's easy to go.
So how much of acceptance has this garnered?
Sorry,
how long has this been in place? Where do we get it?
2017. You actually get it from. I have some copies in Blanco supermarkets.
Okay.
Yes, and then you contact me, and then
how much does it go for?
It goes for 1,000 naira.
All right, very interesting. And okay, so tell us what if you want in less than 2-3 sentences, the basic steps or tips you need to go about to gain success in exam.
Well, the first step like I said earlier, is to define your purpose. Then for taking the exam, then again, you need to start preparing early. Learn how to schedule your time. Get all the courses you need to get. Be sure of the materials you need for the exam. Get the right materials, and then set your schedule. Read and reread again. Start early, and then practice your questions over and over again. So by the time you go to the exam hall, you're already used to the kind of questions you're expecting to see.
Interesting. With just 1,000 naira, you can get this. Of course, Grace Chukwuma is a graduate of accounting from the University of Uyo, Nigeria, a holder of Masters in Business Administration, International Business Administration from the Coventry University, an author perchance, and she's doing fantastically well. We're looking forward to other work from you. Thank you so very much, and I know this will be a very great resource material for students and professionals alike, so go grab a copy today. But that's the bit we can take on our book preview segment today. Join us again next week for yet another exciting episode where we'll be talking to creatives, writers, authors from all walks of life. My name is Louisa Olani.